Hello everybody. So this movie is about the Finder and navigating within the Finder, and also some cool tips and tricks for using the Finder. So the first thing that you should know is Command N will make you a new Finder window. You can also make a new Finder window by pressing File, New Finder Window. And most keyboard shortcuts that I'll be telling you about are accessible from these menus up here, but sometimes keyboard shortcuts are easier. So, keyboard shortcuts. To go into a folder, you press Command down, and to go out of a folder, you press Command up. Now, Command up is a really nice keyboard shortcut to know because there's no button for it. You can always double click on a folder to go into it, but Command up will get you out of it. You can also, as you browse around, let's just browse around a little bit. There we go. As you browse around, it actually keeps a history of where you've gone, just like your web browser does. So you can press the back button or the forward button. Now, I mentioned Command down to go into a folder. If you're on top of something that can be opened, like a JPEG, for example, or an application, if you press Command down, that will actually launch that application or open that picture or MP3 file. Now that you kind of know how to get around, where are we? Where is this folder? We can find out by pressing Command up several times and figuring it out, or we can actually Command click on this little icon up here, and that'll show us where we are. So we're on my computer, on the hard drive, users, Ben Jaffe, downloads. And if I was in Doc Dividers, that list would be one item longer. We can also click and drag these icons. And this goes for most applications in OS X. But let's say we wanted to move Doc Dividers to the desktop. We could actually just click and drag this folder and let go on the desktop. And now it's popped us back out into downloads, and turns out Doc Dividers now is actually on the desktop. I'm going to go ahead and move it back. Now, as far as getting information about these items, you can press Command I. Just like in QuickTime, you can open up the inspector, you can open up a similar window here and get information about whatever item you happen to be on. So if you go to this item, you can press Command I, it'll open up another window. Now, the only problem with this is eventually, well, you have to make sure you close these, otherwise you will have way too many windows open. Now, there's a cool shortcut for this. You can hit Command Option I. It'll open up a similar looking window, but this window is not specifically for this file, it's for whatever the Finder selection is. So if I change my selection, it'll change what it's referring to. And the cool thing about this is I can actually select multiple things, and it'll say 3 items, this is how big they are, right? However, if I were to close this and I were to hit Command I, just Command I without option, it'll open up 3 different windows, and sometimes not in the most ideal manner possible. Now, 2 more things. I don't want to get too in depth here, but you can hit Command Shift N for a new folder, and I find that extremely useful. And then you can name that folder, this is a new folder, because I'm just that original coming up with names. We can delete items by pressing Command Delete, and that'll bring it down into our trash here. Now, we can actually delete what's in our trash either by pressing Finder, Empty Trash, or you also notice you get these little symbols over here. For example, Preferences is Command, comma. That's the keyboard shortcut for it. To empty the trash, you can press Command, Shift, and this is the delete key. So if I press Command, Shift, Delete, it'll say, are you sure you want to empty the trash? Now, this is a little dangerous keyboard shortcut, but if you add Option to that, it won't even prompt you. So if you're sure you want to empty the trash and you don't want to have to touch your mouse or press another key, you can just hit those 3, Command, Option, Shift, and then press Delete. It'll empty out your trash. One last thing I want to talk about is viewing files. So we're here, we could always press Command down to open it up, and it'll open in preview, and we can see this adorable kitty here. We can also preview this without opening it in any application. We can do that, and this only is in Leopard, and you can tell if you have Leopard if the apple in the upper left hand corner of your screen is black. If it's blue, you probably have Tiger or some version before. You can press the space bar when you're over an item in Leopard, and that will open up this quick look dialog box, and that will let you see whatever you're on. So if I go over to this MP3 file, it will actually load it up and play it for me. And press spacebar again to get rid of that. Now one more thing that we can do is we can select multiple things. Let me open up my downloads here. You can select multiple things like this and press spacebar to quick look them. And it'll open up usually the first one. This is the one starting with 27. But it'll open up, you'll notice a couple more buttons. We can press the index sheet, and that will actually zoom us back and let us choose which picture we want. Press spacebar to get rid of it. And lastly, we can change the view of this Finder window. There are actually plenty of views. First of all, we can make this a little bigger or smaller, depending, and we can also click and drag things out of it. Now if you lose something like the desktop here, all you have to do is you have to go and find the desktop. And if you create a new Finder window, or if you open a new Finder window by pressing Command N, you'll see all of your primary locations right here. So here's your desktop. And so you can click and drag this into the sidebar and let go, and there it is, it's back. Now a couple of the views that you can use are the first one here, the icon view. Let's just have that open like that. The second is list view, which shows all of your items like this in this list, and it also gives you a lot of information about it, like date modified, size, folder, etc. There's this third view which will show you very clearly where your files are. So if we go Macintosh hard drive, users, Ben Jaffe, desktop, this item here, you can see all of this information in this pane here, and then you can also see where it came from, and you can very quickly navigate to anywhere you want to. The fourth view is new, and it's called Quick Look. Personally, I prefer my things in list view. Lastly, I want to mention this window here. I got to that by pressing Command J when I was in the Finder, and that lets you change the size of your icons in whatever folder you're in, and that includes the desktop, so it can be any folder as well, and also change the grid spacing. If I had some items over here, you could kind of more easily see what it was doing, squishing them together like that. You can change the size and just generally customize the way you want things to appear. Anyway, that's the Finder. Hope you enjoyed it.